territory where Carlos Bulosan once lived to tell the story of the rain, sweat, glory of Mike Jackson men who fight the destination we were destined to end. Left the writing on the wall in the halls of the Nippon Khan. Others transformed, majority Decepticons, but my conception of the...
Okay, here we are, back again. Seems like we just podcasted, Kev.
Yeah.
Because we did. It's Kevin and Brian, Wait for It Seattle podcast, episode 55.
Yeah, coming to you on a Tuesday morning, which will be our new cadence.
Yep.
Loyal listener Eric let me know that he listens to us on his way to work, and he only gets through about half an hour. And so today I guess he had free time today, and he was listening to the latter halves of everything. And I was getting delayed reactions to my failure to name random Mariners. I think one of the top fives he got me on, I named Hisashi Iwakuma, and that wasn't right. I think it was career ERA. Must have been career ERA. Something weird like that. But shout out to Eric. Thanks for listening.
It's an incredible thing when people respond to your podcast from weeks ago. I mean, I guess it's a good thing. People are listening. Episode 55, we will try to make awesome because in Seattle sports history, jersey-wise, it's a little bit of an underachieving number, Kev. It's like promise of stardom only to fall by the wayside. So I don't know if you are the right age for this, but I think if you asked Seattle sports fans who's the most famous 55 in the history of Seattle sports, they would have an answer.
Give me a team.
I think it's a Seahawk.
Does it start with a B?
Yes.
Brian Bosworth.
Yes. Yes. I think he is the most famous 55 in Seattle sports history.
He just seems like in the bucket of not actually awesome, like on the field.
No, it's exactly what you're saying, right?
But he's like a popular guy. So
well, his hype
hype
was incredible, right?
Yeah.
And he definitely didn't live up to it. So here are two Mariners on the list, which is kind of interesting. Gabe Spire has it now. Gabe Spire is great. Doesn't fit this category. Michael Saunders.
Oh man,
kind of like
Condor. What was his name?
Yes, the Condor. Good. He kind of had some hype that didn't live up to. He had 24 home runs for the Blue Jays one year when he left, of course.
Yeah.
But I remember feeling like, is this the right fielder of the future or left fielder? I'd take either one.
Yeah.
And then Gil Mesh, who might have been.
I love Gil Mesh.
Okay, that's amazing. Me too.
Yeah.
He wasn't good.
Yeah.
He was fine.
He was like really good number 5 starter. Like he had a high. What I remember about him is he had a high ceiling.
Yes.
Never really kind of like a lot of Mariners.
First round pick.
Yeah.
Out of high school. During a time when we were drafting pitchers who we thought were going to be good and weren't, right? Or like Gilmesh was fine, but this is the era. You got to go farther back, but for those of us who are older, like Roger Salkeld is a name, and then later it was like Taiwan Walker and Danny Holtzen and all these guys. Paxton kind of fits that category too. Gilmesh, this is my favorite thing. I looked it up. 2003, he had a 15-13 record. Just getting a win or a loss every time out.
I mean, that means he was pitching.
But 15 wins. I mean, he had a 4.59 ERA. I mean, it's 2003, so it's steroid era. So a 4.59 is probably a 3.59 now. So maybe Gilmesh is a little bit better. There's one other. It's a long intro on number 55. But this is good.
I love it.
There's one other person I think true, like old school Seattle sports fans might associate with 55, and it's a Sonic. There's only been 2 Sonics to wear 55, but one was, do you know?
Ruben Patterson?
No, I love Ruben Patterson though. We've talked about this. Steve Scheffler.
Oh,
So Steve Scheffler, this is probably actually when I was in high school, college, those Sonics teams, he was the human victory cigar. I think Kevin Calabro called him that.
Yeah.
So when he came in, it was always when they had a big blowout winner at the end of the game. And people went bananas for Steve Scheffler.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Steve Scheffler, Big Ten Player of the Year in college.
Oh, wow. Who do you play for?
Purdue, I think. It's Purdue or Iowa. It's one of those two. Uh, big white post. It's got to be
Yeah.
Purdue or Iowa. Um, so, but Scheffler, I'm going to talk about the NBA draft a little bit later, Kev. It's coming up
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah.
It's a good example of like somebody who is really good, and it's really hard to be good in the NBA. So those are all our number 55s.
Man, that was
Um,
quite the list, to be honest.
yeah,
That was
yeah, it's a good
probably,
list.
yeah, that was a good list.
Well, last week was easy. It was Bobby Wagner. It's
Yeah.
54. You don't talk about anybody else. Bobby
Yeah.
Wagner's, I mean, you can debate whether he's the greatest Seahawk of all time. So
Yep.
55, a little bit more underachieving. We will not be today. We're going to follow the same format as last time. But we're going to start with the starting five of the week. Kevin may disagree with some of my selections here, but that's what we're here for. So first up, Kev, I have a soft spot for this dude. I just want him to be awesome, and his name is Dom Canzone, and maybe this is the Saunders connection. Maybe it's because the right field and left field have been, I guess not right field. You got Ichiro and JB in
Yeah.
her, but post Ichiro, they've just vacuums. I just love Dom Canzone. Why? Why would I love Dom Canzone? It's so weird.
He has a 1 year. I was interested to see if so they re-signed him this year. One
Really?
year, 760,000.
I
Yeah,
think that's
so
arbitration.
that was
I think it's
arbitration.
arbitration. I think
Let's
so.
see.
He's
Oh
still
yeah,
under
yeah, yeah,
control
yeah.
because they can
Yeah.
send him down. So it's the big thing is so they designated for assignment before the Cub series Rowdy Tellez. So
Which
Rowdy's
is kind
gone.
of sad, right?
A
Like,
little sad.
yeah,
Rowdy's
yeah,
fun, yeah. But
yeah.
it was like, okay, will they send
Canzone's
down?
ready.
Do they send Canzone down? Do they send shoot, who was the other person they could have sent down? I can't remember now. But they could have released Solano instead. They had Mastroboni they could have sent down, but he's more flexible. Dom Canzone responded in Chicago in a very hitter friendly environment, mind you, windy and sunny. But he had two bombs in Chicago, and then today against Minnesota, hit a huge bomb and hit one off the wall against a lefty.
Yeah. And this
And
is
I'm gonna geek out, but I'm feeling it.
yeah. So I'm just gonna just do something right now. If you are listening to this podcast and you can get 5 people to rate this podcast,
Oh,
this sounds pretty desperate. It's not. I promise there's a connection
okay,
here.
okay.
I will send you an autographed Dom Canzone baseball. I just have it. I
Are you
don't know
sending
what
it to
to.
me
If you get
or
five
the
people,
listener?
if anybody,
Oh, this is a challenge. I'm in the challenge too. If I
if
can get
if
five
you
people to
if
rate
you
it.
can get 5 people to rate our podcast, so we're at 11 on Spotify. If you can get 5 people on Spotify to rate us, and you tell me who they are, I will send you or another listener
It's
a Dom
amazing.
Canzone baseball autograph. I just have it. I like have no connection with it,
Yeah, we were gonna give it away at our March Madness
and I didn't. I
contest.
gave away a StubHub gift card,
Yeah, that's
which,
nice
by
of
the
you.
way, people went to it. So at that point, Dom Canzone.
Yeah, it was really
So stock
now
is
it's
high.
like
Yeah,
Hall of
stock
Fame.
is high.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
So
amazing.
yeah.
All right, so
Okay.
he's first on the list.
I don't have any more autographed memorabilia of any of these other people we're about to mention.
Okay, you don't have any Gabby Williams autographed
No.
memorabilia.
No.
Gabby Williams, again, soft spot. Maybe it's unfair. She's on the list 2 weeks in a row.
That means she's
Uh,
playing well.
the Storm beat the Aces and the New York Liberty since we last talked. The Liberty were missing 3 starters, including Sabrina Ionescu. They still had Brianna Stewart. They still had Natasha Cloud.
Yeah.
But Jonquel Jones and Sabrina, I mean, it's pretty big to be missing those two. The Aces in the middle of the first quarter, no, second quarter, I was like ready to write a new post about the Storm, and they completely turned the game around. Gabby, in that game, I believe, had 18, 12, and 4. She followed up with a 12, 6, 10, and 4 game. She's just a stat stuffer. and
Yeah.
she's awesome. We talked about her last week, so we don't have to get into it too much.
No,
But
no, no, no. I mean, just an all around. That Las Vegas Aces line is pretty cool. The double double. I mean, she had two double doubles, right? Like the New York Liberty one, 10 assists,
you're right.
dude.
10
10
assists from Gabby
assists,
Williams as your small forward. Like,
four steals, dude.
I know. She just, the stuff she does is so fun and is such a big part of why they're good.
Yeah.
I know. I'm really
98,
vacillating
90,
on the Storm
89. Yeah.
because part of my deal was that I maybe you don't know this, but part of my preseason thing was they didn't beat anyone good last year.
Yeah.
So when they got to the playoffs, it was like they're gonna get swept. And I've been kind of beating that drum this year. And they beat the Aces twice. They've beat the Liberty. They're the only team I think still that beat the Minnesota Lynx. Minnesota was missing. No, Minnesota was not missing anybody. New York was missing people. The Aces were not. Asia Wilson was back. So, and they beat the Mercury twice. We're good. So, is it possible the Storm are actually a championship contender? We're gonna save that, but let's stick with the Storm. Let's give me one more. Skylar Diggins actually teared up in a press conference talking about Nneka Agwuemeke because of how underappreciated she is.
Yeah. I mean, she does not have, she's putting up major numbers
Yeah.
and she has in her career, but she's not a household name in the WNBA.
She didn't make the Olympic team. I saw some posts today that said that was a crime in 2024. She had 25 and 12 against Vegas. And when the Storm were struggling, she was the only one getting something going. And
Yep.
then they all got going. And then 26 and 7 against the Liberty and Brianna Stewart. I mean, I'm not saying Brianna Stewart was directly guarding her, but was for part of the time. I mean, come on.
She's so good. One of her backups just said, "Okay, you're really good. I'm never gonna play," and she demanded a trade.
It's a great point,
I
Kev.
mean,
That is a great point. All right. Fourth on the list, we're gonna go to the Seattle Reign here. Kev, the Reign won 4-1. They scored 4 goals, which at one point I would have told you would have been their total for 2 months of play, but they're starting to score a little bit. And Emery Adames had 2 goals in the match against Utah. Utah is absolutely atrocious, but Adames had 2 goals and they scored 4. And I'm going to ask you a question about the Reign.
God, I can't. Can I just? She's not even. She's 19 years
I know.
old.
That's what's cool. That's what's cool about them with
Is
Jordan
she gonna
Bugg.
go on like loan or something, or is someone gonna like just steal
That's
her
a
away?
good question. So that's a good segue, Kev. Do you know how long it is until the Reign play an NWSL match again?
I remember you telling me this that it'll be like they're going on this long international break.
Yeah.
So
It's longer than I thought. I had to look it up. Their next match is August 1st.
dude, we won't talk about the rain for a whole month.
Yeah. There's not, I mean, there is a summer transfer window. This is relating to what you said. I think this is where Sofia Huerta, Santa Clara alum, by the way, who's on the Reign, one of their best players last year, got transferred out. But they're not really in a position where they should be transferring people out.
No.
I mean, they're in the mix. I don't know. They're probably not a championship contender, but they're playing so many young players, to your point, and they're improving. It's actually kind of a crappy time for them to go on break.
Yeah.
But
From
we'll
where
see.
they were last year, we were
Yeah.
so down on them, and they're in playoff position right now.
Yep.
13 games in, 13 matches in. They're, like you said, they're in the mix. So
Here's the hard part. As you know, I'm a season ticket holder.
yeah,
Not having a match at home for all of July and June
it's like, what was the point of getting the tickets?
is a real bummer. Like that's the best time to go. I mean, September's really good in Seattle,
Yeah.
but come on, that's a bummer. So, but I'm already making plans for my Mariners concession eating, by the way. So
Can we talk about the last person here? 'Cause
we
it's
we have to. We're just gonna say his
pretty
name. We're just
amazing.
gonna say his name. We have to save more because he's coming up later. Okay.
Okay.
Actually,
Alright.
we'll segue it. We'll combine the two. Okay.
Okay.
So the fifth person on our starting five of the week is also our surprise of the week.
Yeah.
Maybe the surprise of the century. His name is Donovan Solano. And if you're a casual Mariners fan, you may be like, who's Donovan Solano? He's 38 years old. He got signed this year to the Mariners to be a right-handed platoon bat at first base. And Kev, I have to share this with you. On June 4th, Donovan Solano was hitting 169. For those who don't follow baseball, that's terrible. No home runs and two RBIs. He was Patrick Leary, Mariner Muse, who comes on this podcast, was tweeting about, is he the worst Mariner of all time? All time. In the running with a couple other current Mariners, sadly. And he was a definite possibility for getting released. Donovan
He's
Solano.
saved.
Yeah. Donovan Solano. That was June 4th. Today's June 23rd, right? He's now hitting 257 with 3 homers and 11 RBIs. In the Cubs series, 9 for 14, 2 bombs, 8 RBIs. He had 5 RBIs on this season before a 3-game series in Chicago where he had 8.
Yeah, he went 3 for 7 in the Arizona series. And in the Arizona series, which was June 9th, he's hitting 181.
Yeah.
And
And
you
that
can
was like
see
the
this,
peak of his life
yeah.
right there. Or
Like,
not his life. His...
honestly, I'm very interested to see if he can hit outside of Chicago. Like, did he
Yeah.
just save? I mean,
Chicago was a bizarre environment, right?
yeah,
But that's what was cool about today. I was like, ugh, that was a big series for the M's. They scored 30 runs in 3 games.
41 in 4 games.
Right. So they go out and score 11 in Minnesota today in not a great hitting environment. Canzone hits a bomb. Luke Raley hits an absolute nuke to center field. Julio hit one, which is beautiful, like 445 feet. And then one more person hit a home run today.
Yeah. I mean, Julio's a power hitter, right? Julio was in the home run derby. Julio
had a great home run derby.
Yeah. He was hitting bombs, and his performance is minuscule compared to.
We're just giggling because it's absurd. Cal Raleigh. When we left this podcast, he was the performance of the week on Wednesday before they went to Chicago. Yes?
Yeah.
And we were talking about how ridiculous he was. All he did was hit 4 bombs in 3 games in Chicago. And then today, very average day for Cal, comes up in the 9th, hits a 2-run bomb to make it 11-2 Mariners. He now has 32 home runs. What is
It's not even the end of June.
It's
He
I'm
had
giddy.
It's
unbelievable.
He has cracked the top 24 of all-time Mariners WAR. I mean, Julio Rodriguez is in the top 24.
Yep.
But like, it is ridiculous. I think
Also, don't look at the career WAR. It is depressing. I looked at it today. Dustin Ackley is the same as Tino Martinez. And
wow.
I don't put them in the same category in my
Yeah.
Mariners history.
Yeah.
So I don't like it. Anyway.
Dude, he's carrying this baseball team, dude. There's 3 games over 500, and Cal Raleigh is atop every major hitting category.
Well, here's what I push back on you a little bit. I mean, he obviously he has been, but the last 4 games he has not carried them. He's been awesome.
Yeah.
They scored 41 runs in 4 games, right? It's been a balanced attack. But let's stay with Cal because I have to share this. I sent this to someone, so I got to find it. This is a good measure of Cal Raleigh. So my buddy Dave Dunch, not gonna listen to podcasts. He's a Bay Area guy. You should meet him sometime. Good dude. A's fan, totally heartbroken. They can't root for the A's anymore because they moved, right? His whole childhood is robbed from him. We'll talk about getting robbed childhoods later. He follows baseball, but he used to watch every A's game. Like we would text all the time about the A's and the Mariners, and I would tell him how much I hate the A's. This is like the Hudson, Mulder, Zito days and stuff. We went to college together. He went to Santa Clara, and he texted me out of the blue yesterday. He goes, "Wait, Cal Raleigh has 31 home runs, right?" So it's a good indicator of you
It's
know, it's permeating the rest of
it's really funny
everybody.
you say this
Okay.
because I got a text from one of my best friends who
Hmm.
lives in New Jersey. We taught together in LA. Same premise. He's a
Yep.
big Yankees fan. So he follows Aaron Judge. He's all about the Yankees. And he knows I'm a major Mariners fan. He knows how deep I'm into it. He texts me today at like 3 o'clock. I'm still like working. And I
Yeah.
look at it and it's just, is Cal Raleigh on steroids?
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing. Like people
Yeah.
are recognizing like this guy is having the
I
most
saw. Yeah.
ridiculous season.
I saw a Twitter thing about the torpedo bats. They weren't even like they were just saying like it's awesome that he found, torpedo bats that helped him. I'm sure it is. But just for the listeners, I know everybody's on the Cal bandwagon. Although I got to share this with you. This is where I got this stat. So it's not hitting everybody. My brother-in-law James, who listens to this podcast sometimes, hello James, uh, has a friend. I think he lives in the Bay Area. No, he's a Bellevue guy, but he's a Toronto Blue Jays fan. So he hates Cal Raleigh because John Schneider, not the Seahawks one, but the
Yeah.
manager of the Blue Jays, once famously said, he's not that hard to get out. We just threw him pitches we shouldn't have thrown him to Cal Raleigh. And Cal Raleigh just hits nukes off of the Blue Jays. Right?
Yeah.
So this guy's like, he's like, the guy basically said he's average. Cal Raleigh's average. Like, there's no metric to say he's average right now.
Yeah.
Nor was he average the last 2 years when he hit 30 bombs. But I was looking up all these stats that he could send to his friend, and here's one. 30 home runs in the first 75 games, Major League Baseball history. Babe Ruth 3 times. Roger Maris, Reggie Jackson, Griffey, Sosa and McGuire, Sosa twice. That's the Royd era. Luis Gonzalez, also Royd era. Barry Bonds, Cal Raleigh. Hasn't been done in 24 years.
Yeah.
Right? This is why your friend's saying, is he on steroids? But get out of here with your terrible takes that he's not the best catcher in baseball, that he's not deserving of everyone's flowers and praise.
Yeah.
Cal Raleigh's absurd.
There's so many articles in the national press, sports press about Cal Raleigh, but the thing is these articles become outdated because he just hits a home run literally like the next
Totally.
day. So I'm reading
The stats I just gave you were
Yeah.
I was trying to Google 32 homers in 76 games
Yeah.
to see if the list changed. I'm sure it cuts a couple people off, but you can't even find it.
Yeah, so you
can't
made that
keep up with
point-
it.
Yeah, you made the point about like it's kind of skewed because of the when the All-Star game was. So there's like pre-All-Star game, like that's kind of what are the counting stats before the All-Star game.
Right.
So I'm reading an article on MLB.com where they went position by position on best pre-All-Star pre-All-Star game
Like first halves in
performances,
Major
first
League
halves,
Baseball
right?
history.
So
Yep.
they went position by position, and they actually have Edgar at DH. In 1996, in 85 games, he had a 201 OPS plus, and he was slashing 346, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
471, 702, but only 22 home runs, man. Like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And this is, again, we talk about this every time, but every time you look up Aaron Judge's numbers, like I saw somebody arguing, and there's a lot of Cal MVP stuff, and I understand he's in the conversation.
yeah.
But Aaron Judge is like 3 home runs behind and hitting 350.
Yeah. Aaron Judge is, and he's cold right now.
Yeah.
So,
But it's cool that like today in Minnesota when he hit the bomb, annoying Mariners fans were chanting MVP in the Minnesota's Target Field, which is super, super cool.
it's great.
All right, so that's our high for sure. Our disappointment of the week is an easy one, isn't it, Kev?
Oh my God. After my rant from last week,
Yeah.
I don't think I was prepared for this. It kind of sucks, man.
Yeah. The Thunder won the NBA championship, in case anyone wasn't paying attention. Halliburton blew out his Achilles, which was gross and awful.
Yeah. Did they keep on showing it?
They showed it a few times, yeah. Here's a weird thing that probably people have seen, but I'll share it anyway. 3 players, stars, tore their Achilles in the playoffs this year. Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, and Tyrese Halliburton.
And they
First
were
of all,
all wearing
Yeah. 0.
number 0.
Number 0. I think that's such a weird thing. Anyway, it's also, I mean, the NBA needs to reduce their games to 72. Like they're
Yeah,
wearing these guys down and they're having
or not
catastrophic
have
injuries.
7 game series for the
No, no,
playoffs.
no, 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 no. Don't go there. No, 7 game series need to happen.
Okay, so cut the season by 6 games,
10 games. 80, I
10 games.
say 82 to 72. You give them more space during the year. I mean, the playoff run is still brutal, but the NBA finals, honestly, like they are at the end where they're really tired, but they take like 3 days off in between games. I think the earlier rounds are a little harder. Again, what do I know? But if you took 10 games off the regular season, that's 10 games of wear and tear you're taking off these guys. So they won't do it because there's too much money involved, but that's okay. I
Yeah.
don't get to decide that.
So, who do you direct as a Seattle sports fan? I saw various
Hmm.
takes on this, and
Hmm.
someone was like, you have to kind of educate people. Like, why don't you root for the Thunder? Which is like the first thing. And
I know.
the
Why is that? It's
analogy,
so annoying.
yeah, the analogy I draw to people that ask me that, my sister-in-law was the latest to ask me, like, why didn't you root for the Thunder? And I said, it's
Hmm.
like rooting for your ex girlfriend. Like,
Mm.
there's a reason why they're not the Sonics. And she's pretty good. She was saying, well, the Raiders are still the Raiders, and I know a lot of people in Oakland root for the Las Vegas Raiders, and I think there's an element of truth to that, and I think it's probably the same for the A's. I think it's
I don't
just
know. I just
so
told you my buddy's like the A's are
yeah,
dead, and
yeah,
like and he was a
yeah,
Raiders fan growing up, and he became a Niners fan when he was a kid because the Raiders kept moving,
yeah. Well, that's a
right?
good
I
point.
mean, I
So
don't know. Yeah,
maybe, but I think something about the Sonics moving was I think the way the city is, and I'm not saying Seattle's special
yeah,
by any means. It's just a hypothesis, but like
yeah,
I think we were all united in just hating how this whole thing went down and identifying the villains, Howard Schultz, Greg Nichols, um, Clay Bennett.
yeah.
But I'm almost over time like less upset about Clay Bennett
I'm
and
with you.
more
It
upset
didn't
at
bother me
Howard
that much.
Schultz. Like he had an
Totally.
agenda and like Howard like it's now that I've matured and I've lost
Hmm.
the innocence of being a high school student when this
Yeah,
happened. Um, they were totally gonna move him to Oklahoma City. Like,
yeah. Clay
how
Bennett
could
didn't hide.
you believe that they were trying to like say that they were gonna build an arena in Renton at some point? Like, it's the
I mean,
stupidest thing.
there were long shots that you grasp straws at and hoped. But
Yeah.
I think I said this before. When Clay Bennett bought the team, I remember thinking they're gone
What?
because
It's
he
the
wanted a
logical
team.
inference.
He said he
Yeah.
wanted a team in Oklahoma City, and he said he would give it a fair chance, but I knew they were gone. And Howard Schultz is the villain in this story. Greg Nichols, the mayor, Seattle Prep alum, is
Yeah.
also a villain in this story. And David Stern's a villain in this story.
Yep.
David Stern, who saves the Kings years later when Chris Hansen tries to buy them, because now he cares about a city having a team that didn't have it before. Like, forget all three of them for me. Like, you blew it. You blew it.
Yeah.
And hopefully this summer we're on a podcast and we have this amazing 30-minute conversation about what's next and the Sonics are coming and we can heal some wounds a little bit. But
Yeah.
the wounds were open for me on that night. I feel okay today. I'm not even like I don't feel jealousy or rage towards like Oklahoma City fans like I used to. I used to be pissed at them.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is none of these players played in Seattle.
Yep.
Like, can you imagine, even if the Durant, Harden, Westbrook team won, that would have bothered me because Durant was drafted in Seattle and he had 1 year. But imagine if like a Kemp Payton team went and won somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like that'd be brutal, right? And I don't know. I'm sure there's a scenario that's like that. I did see something that said the Sonics are the second most painful slash worst sports franchise move in history behind the Brooklyn Dodgers moving to LA, which is interesting because they're so iconic in LA, I think. But for old timers like the Brooklyn Dodgers, it was a big deal, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully that, yeah, I, Hopefully it gets healed this summer.
Yeah.
How about that?
A
That looks great.
weird kind of side story is that Kevin Durant got traded to the Rockets.
Yeah,
And
on the day they won. Yeah.
he's also joining the last active Sonics player, Jeff Green, who's also on the Rockets.
He is
They,
not. He's still
yeah,
playing.
he's still playing. He plays for the
Incredible.
Rockets.
It's
Well,
incredible.
Durant's still playing.
Oh,
Like
true.
they came
Yeah.
in at the same
They
time.
were that was the big it wasn't my favorite move. It was like one of the last Sonic things we had that I cared about. That was a move. Durant, obviously, I was hoping Odin went one. I
Yeah.
wanted Durant the whole time. I remember this draft. I was driving to Bellevue College to coach a game, summer league basketball, and Durant got drafted as I got out of the car. I was super pumped. Then I found out later that they traded Ray Allen for the pick to take Jeff Green. Didn't love that one. But then assumed they were kind of leaving, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know. I guess we didn't totally know then. It was like a worry. When they drafted Westbrook, we already knew they were gone.
Yep.
So
Yep.
anyway, yeah. Durant to the Rockets, the Suns, my current adopted team now have like 18 shooting guards. So great. All right, social media MVP of the week. Usually your category, but I have one for you this week.
Yeah, this is good.
I love this one, and I think people need to follow. So on X, it is Hall of Good Pod, all one word, Hall of Good Pod. It is the Major League Baseball Hall of Pretty Good, and it's such a cool concept. I don't know the person who created it. I would love to have them on to talk about it. They basically said they go on X and they nominate a player and they have to get enough votes from the social media community to be elected to the Hall of Pretty Good. So clearly they can't be a Hall of Fame player
Yeah.
and they have to be good enough to make the Hall of Pretty Good. I think I saw today Alex Avila, a catcher for the Tigers, did not get enough votes to make the Hall of Pretty Good. They have 13 players have made it. So it's Eric Hosmer, Denard Span, Scott Kazmir, Jason Kipnis, Kurt Suzuki, Jackie Bradley Jr., Carlos Pena, Ricky Weeks Jr., Josh Reddick, Mark Reynolds, Steve Cishek, which he was a Mariner at one point, and Hideki Matsui. None of those guys are going to make the Hall of Fame. Some of them have acknowledged on social media their election. It's so awesome. And I don't know if that's part of it. Like they have to acknowledge it. I don't think it is. But it's such a great idea.
It's I almost want to know who you like if you could come up with just one Mariner off the top, like who would be like a shoe-in for you?
Kev, incredible. We didn't even talk about this. This is my question for you.
Yeah, it'd be Jamie Moyer for me.
Oh, that's
Easy.
a good
He'd
one.
be in right away.
Do you think he's too good because of his long-term stat? Like he's not going to make the Hall of Fame though.
No.
Oh yeah, he's probably not even on the ballot anymore.
No.
He is a good one. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I have a list for you.
You came up with a list of Mariners
I
for
did.
this?
I did. Kyle Seager, I think, is a really
Yes. Yeah.
good one. Jay Buhner,
Yeah. Yep.
Alvin
Checks.
Davis,
Checks out.
Brett Boone's a tricky one, but Brett Boone, Mike Cameron.
Is there a anti-steroid tinge for the Hall of
I
Pretty Good?
think I don't want to make any accusations about guys on this list. So, John Olerud
Oh, he's got to be in.
got a great for many teams. Like he was so good with the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
I think he's like maybe the number one of the hitters. And then I threw in Randy Wynn, Joey Cora.
Dude, get Randy Wynn out of there.
Randy Wynn's great. And Mike Blowers. I mean, Mike,
no,
probably
no,
not good
no.
enough.
No,
So
no.
I think Olerud and Seager, to me, are the top two.
Yep.
Like
So-
Seager's top five in every Mariners category, and there's no way he's coming close to the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
But he was a Major League Baseball All-Star for the Mariners. Adrian Beltre was not, who is a Hall of Famer. One of
Yeah.
my fun facts. Okay. Well, that's a good follow. You should follow them, everybody. It's really fun.
All of good.
All right.
All
Preview
good
of the
pod.
week. Something I'm going to write about, and I'm going to do it foolishly because I'm going to write about hockey. And that doesn't always go
Dude,
well.
people loved your Storm article. A lot of comments.
I
like-
know. People love when you say somebody should be playing more. It's just like parents. When parents are up in the stands and I was coaching, they'd all get together about some person I should be playing more. People love that.
Yeah.
It's
until
gonna
they have
be
to
me
do
this
it.
year. No, it's gonna
Yeah.
be me this year on the freshman football sidelines. I'll be like, that Lincoln Elsner needs to get in more. He's be running the X receiver spot, go
Oh
routes for
man.
days.
Yeah, so then I can write a recruiting post about it.
Oh my God. I don't think we're anywhere near there. Okay. So I've totally lost what's happening here. I'm gonna write about the moves the Kraken have made already, which is exciting. It's off-season time. Um, I was talking to somebody who's loyal listener Jim Pullen, who's a Kraken season ticket holder, and he's like, you know what? I don't want to talk about the Kraken in the summer. I was like, fair enough. I will write about it then. You can read it or not read it. I wanted to talk to him about it. They made a couple trades that were really good, but I'm gonna save it for the post. So
I'm looking forward to it.
okay, great. That's our
Uh,
preview.
our Mayan civilization prediction. We got just got so many segments. I love this. So I was thinking about this. I was
Yeah.
like, how many more home runs is Cal Raleigh going to hit
Mhm.
before the end of the month? So they
Yep.
have 7 games left in the month. I think, okay, they're on the road for all of these games, I believe. So they're on the road against
3 more against the Twins,
3 more against the Twins.
and then they go to why can't I remember where they finished this road trip with? They do have 3 more after that.
Is it Kansas City?
No, they play Kansas City at home when they come back. It's
Okay,
Kansas City and Pittsburgh when they come home. I will get it for you right here. Why can't I remember? Oh,
Texas.
Texas. They go to
Yeah, so
Texas.
it's warm there. Okay. I
Yeah,
think he's gonna get 4 more home runs
on this trip.
on this trip.
I think that's low. They have 6 games, 3 in Texas, 3 in Minnesota. Good
Bro, if
weather.
he keeps on hitting these homers, there's no way he
It's
gets like
not. It's
70
not really
home
low.
runs.
You're right. It's not low. 4 is not low for 6 games. But at this rate, I mean, Kev, he's hit 5 in 4 games. So just like tonight, people are gonna be like, "Can you stop talking about Cal Raleigh?" No, I can't because this is the closest I've had to appointment viewing
Yeah.
in a really, really long time. That was almost gonna be my top 5 for you this week. Is what are the top 5 Seattle sports appointment viewing?
Yeah.
Currently all time. So maybe we can play with
Legion
that
of Boom
for
Seahawks on
yeah,
defense.
I think we might play with that for like a post, you
Yep.
know,
Yep.
because Cal Raleigh's in that zone. Griffey was that way for me growing up.
Felix Hernandez, who you've
Felix
repeatedly.
Hernandez,
Yep.
every time I wanted to watch him. And I think, and maybe people can send in some ideas of what appointment viewing,
Yeah.
but Cal Raleigh's at bats are appointment viewing right now. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yep. Stop what you're
Okay,
doing and watch.
here's my Mayan civilization prediction of the week. NBA draft. Not necessarily Seattle sports here, but maybe soon enough. Derek Queen of Maryland, who we've talked
You
about on this
watched.
podcast,
Yeah.
is going to be a bust.
Okay.
Okay. That's my part of my prediction. 3 point guards will be underdrafted, meaning they will be good for their teams in the next 4 or 5 years. And people will be like, why did they go so low? And I can't say all their names. Jaka Kunis from Illinois, that point guard. I watched him.
Yaka Kunis.
Sure, yeah, that's good. He's a European guy. Igor Dimin, another European point guard for BYU. He's like 6'8". Both of these guys pass in a way that just, to me, is sort of Halliburton, like this point guard that I think is coming back to the league where you don't have to score like, you know, Brunson or Luca. Like you can be a distributor on a good team.
TJ McConnell.
Yeah, but these guys are like 6'6", 6'8", right? So
Yeah.
they're like, and then guy who's not, but Nemhard, younger Nemhard at Gonzaga, I think is really, really good. And they all have vision. And I just think that's coming back. If you watch the Pacers and the Thunder and the way they move the ball, I just think it's going to trend back and these guys are going to be really valuable. So
We'll see. I pulled up a mock draft. Nemhard's like in the late second
yeah,
round.
that's my big stretch one, right?
Yeah.
He's going to be a second round guy like his brother. I don't know if his brother's second round, but lower drafted who people are going to be like, he's still on a roster, like a TJ McConnell, like you said, right? Like somebody, TJ McConnell's making like $11 million a year now. Like it's ridiculous. McConnell's the guy I always tell Felix to watch. I'm like, Felix, you're a short white guy. Like,
Yeah,
watch
this
TJ
is
McConnell.
their inspiration.
This is your inspiration. He's like, nah,
Yeah.
where's Anthony Edwards? I'm like, oh, okay. Genetics, buddy.
Yeah.
Genetics.
I mean,
Okay.
he can pull up the Ryan Appleby tape. Curly hair.
Oh,
Yeah, he's got the
baby.
yeah.
God, you always bring it back to that. All right. The Jesse Spano, I'm so excited of the week. Shout out Saved by the Bell.
Yes.
I think you have one.
Yeah, it's a weird link. So actually, I was really excited for the Fever and Storm,
Hmm.
right? Because I saw Caitlin Clark last week play the Valkyries. And the way she didn't hit a three-pointer. I was like, I came all the way to San Francisco to watch her hit one three-pointer, right? Like the great, arguably the one of the best, not arguably, I think she's an MVP candidate right now. I hedge too much. I should just say outlandish things like she's the
Hey,
best shooter in the world right now, not named Steph Curry.
yeah,
Okay.
you need to say hot
Yeah.
takes.
Yeah. So that's my
So
hot
the
take.
AI will clip it.
Anyways, she didn't hit a three-pointer, and it was because the Valkyries were sucking in, like they were like on her, and so she was just diming like she was just hitting the post time after
Yeah.
time because posts were cheating up, and it would release the Fever, whoever was, rim running
Probably
if it was in
Aaliyah
transition.
Boston,
Yeah,
Natasha
they were just getting
Howard. Yeah.
like literally layups, and so
Yeah.
she almost had a triple double.
Yeah.
But yeah, she just got to the free throw line. I think she had like 9 points
Did
or something.
Valkyries win that game?
The Valkyries won by like
Yeah.
5 to 10. So I think that's kind of the recipe to beat the Fever. Like just let them beat you with layups and don't have her, score three pointers in a minute, right?
Do you
Like I think it makes sense.
do you know the Valkyries coach off the top of your head?
Yeah, Nakasha, God.
I wasn't trying to
No,
test
no,
you
no,
because
no, no, no.
I
Um
always forget her name
she
too.
she was
Nakase,
yeah, Nakase.
Natalie Nakase.
Yeah.
Um, Kev, I wanted to bring her up. I want to say correctly, Nakase. Sorry that we didn't remember your name. And for the Aces under Becky Hammond, I saw a
Yeah.
tweet that said she was the genius behind Becky Hammond. Becky Hammond's no good anymore. Okay, everybody
gotta-
relax. But
Would you?
no, she's really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the Valkyries shouldn't be as good with their roster, and they have all these people in Europe right now.
Yeah.
They're playing like they have a roster of seventh and eighth players on other teams.
Yep.
And they beat the Storm, and they looked awesome when I watched it. They beat the Fever. They're competitive.
Yeah.
Nakase is really, really a good coach. She's really good.
Which brings me to my next, like what I'm actually excited for
Yeah.
is I'm going to the game on Sunday with Caroline's coming down, and so we're watching the Valkyries versus the Storm
Oh,
in San
nice.
Francisco. So
On
I'll
Felix's birthday,
yeah.
his
So
12th birthday.
great.
You want to fly him down?
We actually have an extra ticket. I don't have an extra plane ticket,
Oh,
so
okay. All right.
um
What if I just like, hey, you've never met this guy, but anyway, no, he wants to have a pool party for his birthday, so that's gonna be fun.
yeah, I'm excited.
I like that you're excited about that. I am excited for the Fever game tomorrow. I was
Yeah.
thinking about going. Tickets are they're not crazy, but they're stupid compared to other prices.
Yeah.
I will say I saw a cool connection with the Storm. They sold out I think it was the lower bowl or first and second bowl. 12,500 went to the Liberty game.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people, and it was during the NBA Finals. And I thought this was a great. Chris Daniels posted this, who talks a lot about the Sonics, and he said the 30 for 30 will say the day the Thunder won the championship, the Storm sold out Climate Pledge for a game against the Liberty. Kevin Durant got traded, and it'll be part of that like story
Yeah.
of the return of the Sonics, which I thought was, yeah, that's a cool narrative. Like you could definitely build that into a segment of like Sonic fans are at their low, as we talked about before,
Yeah.
but they're also hungry for basketball. There's 12,500 people at a women's basketball game while game 7 in the NBA Finals is going on. That's awesome.
Slightly related to the Caitlin Clark madness. So I went to the game a week ago on Thursday.
Mhm.
How much what's the most you would pay or have you paid for parking at a sporting event?
That's a good question, Kev. This is a hard one for me because I don't pay for parking. So
Oh, you don't. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I have a in Seattle going to Seahawks or Mariners. I know where all the free parking is in the south end behind the stadium or towards the West Seattle Bridge, and I will park miles away in Lime
To
scooter or
walk.
walk. Which is dumb because a Lime scooter is like $5, but you can't find parking for $5 really.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
um, I don't pay, but I think in a visiting city, it's harder to do.
Because you don't know,
Yeah.
and you don't want to
So
get your car towed.
yeah, I did it in Mo Felix tells the best story. We went to the Brewers game against the Mariners, and I was like, I'm not paying for parking. We got plenty of time. I found free parking up by these bars. You kind of take this weird path under a freeway, but like people were walking that way. But on the way back, this um this woman comes up to us who was under the influence of something, and she's like, I need the police. And Felix is like terrified. And the police were literally 10 feet away under the bridge. I'm like, there's a police person right there. Like, not those ones. I was like, sorry, we can't help you. And then she ran off into the bushes. And it was a wild experience. And that's where we parked our car. So, to your point, depending on where I was,
That's great.
I made $50. That
50
was a
bucks.
long answer
Okay.
to get $50. I
Yeah,
think is the most
yeah.
I would pay.
And you'd
It would have to
probably,
be a
and
very unique
talking to
situation.
you, you'd probably have to be very close then to pay that $50. Like the parking
Yeah.
can't be far. Yeah.
I when we went to the playoff game, right? And the Major League Baseball All-Star game. Both scenarios are something where you should be paying for parking, right?
Yeah.
There's every lot is being full. I did not pay parking for either, and I went really far away.
That has to be
So,
from your dad. Like that had to be
oh,
passed
it's
down. Okay,
100% from
yeah,
my dad.
yeah, okay.
Yes, my dad. We used to park up off Dearborn North. My dad's work, we'd be by there. He found a $1 parking lot in the 90s, so we used to park in at night.
Yeah.
And we'd walk, and yeah, it'd be a 20-minute walk. It's the same thing. I totally inherited it
I
from my dad.
remember I got upset at my dad when he made us park near prep to walk to Husky Stadium. But now and this was pre-light rail, right?
Yep.
Like light rail changed the game.
Yeah.
But now that I think about it, like that's not that far of a walk. Why was
It's
I
not that far.
complaining, right? But
Yeah.
like I kind of need this is the parenting tip that I'm gonna try to give myself. It's like
Yeah.
kind of trying to condition my son so he doesn't feel like he can't walk it anywhere. Like
Yeah. My kids are well aware of like how far we're walking the games. Because one year Felix and I went to 20 baseball games, so he was
yeah,
used
you
to
have
it.
to build in time. Yep. Yep.
Lincoln's pretty used to it too. Now they want the Lime scooters. They just get on the front. We're not supposed to, but they ride with me and we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Here's one place I do pay. This is longer than I thought it was gonna be, Kev, but I'm gonna go for it. Climate Pledge. I don't know how to get free parking around there. I gotta do
Yeah.
more. I gotta do more work. I pay like 20 something bucks when I go to Kraken games
Yeah.
for parking,
I
and I
think you
don't love
just
it.
have to. Yeah.
I think you got to go up like towards Queen Anne
Yeah.
in like some side streets and stuff. But even then,
I mean, you're a
like
Catholic. You're in Catholic education. Couldn't you broker a deal with like the people at that parish right across the street? I was thinking about that. I was like, that's a
like
nice
that.
big lot. Yeah.
I like that. That's a good point. I could try that.
Um,
Also, Climate Pledge is not
it's
on
like
a rail, but not
no,
light
yeah,
rail. Like
yeah,
anyway.
yeah,
Well, that's where I pay for parking. Okay. I'm excited. I'm just gonna say it quick. I mean, the Mariners have scored 41 runs in 4 games, so I want to keep watching them play offense until we get on this podcast the next time, and I'm pissed at them.
yeah.
Um,
Top five?
I think that's it. Let's go top 5.
Nice.
Okay, I'm gonna go first.
Do it. Let's see.
Have you're going to 2 WNBA games in a week's time?
It's pretty nice.
Yeah, you seem pretty well versed on the WNBA. I would say right now.
Oh, don't pump me
Well,
up, man. I
this
couldn't
is
even
this
name
is
the Valkyries head coach. By the way, they go by the
no,
Valks, and you know the
that's
fan
stupid.
section is
Can
called.
absolutely not go by the Valks.
You know, you can say they're the Valkyries, right?
Yeah,
And
I
are you
understand.
familiar with the Marvel Universe?
Of course.
Okay, you know how they have Valhalla, right?
Yeah.
So the fans are called Ballhalla.
Oh, I'm into that. I don't like the Valks, but I like
But they
Valhalla.
wear like the crown thingy that the
Oh yeah, I
Valkyries
gotta get a
wear. Like
shirt.
everyone's like
Do they
walking
sell
around.
shirts like this?
Yeah, dude, they totally
I gotta
do.
get one.
Yeah, it's
I I gotta get one. I'm in. I'm 100% in.
Valhalla.
Okay, my top five to you is who are the top five scorers per game in the WNBA right now?
Oh God. All right, Caitlin Clark.
No,
Damn, dude, I'm already down.
she.
Um,
I knew you were gonna do that. She's seventh.
God, it was like a trap. I just
These
walked
are
right
all
into.
household names. The top five.
Okay. Um, here we
Three,
go.
no, four of the five.
Brianna Stewart.
Yes, she is third,
Okay.
20.8.
Asia Wilson.
Second, 21.1.
Um,
First in the league is not as big of a household name, but should be.
are there two aces on this list?
No, just let me finish my
Okay.
sentence. This person is the front runner for a WNBA MVP this year. But you may not be paying attention closely enough,
No,
Kev, and
I'm
this is a
not.
test for you.
Nope.
Okay, well, we can skip the number one. You can think about it. 4 and 5 are two guards you definitely know.
Kelsey Plum.
She's fourth, 20.5. Do you see how I give you hints? You never give me hints. Go ahead.
Oh gosh. Another guard that's a household name.
Yeah, big time household name.
God, what's her name?
Oh boy. She has a shoe.
Yeah,
People are yelling right now.
Ionescu. Iones.
Sabrina Ionescu is
Yeah,
number five.
Ionescu. Yeah.
Yep. So number one is the one you can't get. She's the best player in the WNBA right now.
Oh, God, is she on the Minnesota team?
She is.
Oh, God. No, she's on the Lynx and I don't know her name. Uh, I'm not gonna get it.
Nafisa Collier.
Yeah, that's
She
who
is
it
the
was.
best player in the WNBA. She is awesome.
Yeah,
She's
can
at
you read her numbers?
24.4 points per game right now.
Yeah.
So she's first. Asia Wilson, 21.1. Collier, 24.4. Let me give you a little bit more Collier love real quick. Sorry, let me pull it up. She's at 24.4 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, 3.6 assists, 1.8 steals, 1.5 blocks. She's shooting 42% from three, 93% from the free throw line, and her team is first in the league with one loss to the Seattle Storm. So,
Go
Nafisa
Storm.
Collier, she's awesome. Just for people paying attention, other names you might be thinking of, Skylar Diggins-Smith is 11th in the league, Paige Becker's 12, NECA is 13. So, there you go. You failed.
I got a great one for
You're
you.
a failure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think you're gonna
Okay, I'm
love
ready.
this.
I'm not going to get it because I never do, but okay.
This is great. The stat is called at bats per home run.
Okay.
So basically the rate
Yep.
you're hitting home runs, and this is for the Seattle Mariners all time. This is so great
You're the
because
worst.
it's easy, but it's hard. And I there's no way I can give you hints because come on, man.
I just gave you the WNBA top 5 scorers of the league, and you're giving me at bats per home run.
Come on,
Griffey.
man. Griffey's
Griffey.
number 4, 15.1 at bats per
Jesus.
home run.
Okay.
That's great because Griffey is number 4 and he's like number like what on the all-time list, like 11.
Is there anyone current?
Yes,
In the
there
top
is,
five.
and I think it's
Cal Raleigh.
Yeah, Cal Raleigh is at 14.9 at bats
So I
per
was,
home run.
is that fifth?
Third.
Oh, third above. Wow, he's above Griffey.
Yeah, 14.9.
Dang. Now Griffey is skewed by his last years in Seattle, those extra at bats when he wasn't hitting homers. So I wonder what it would be if you just took his prime before he went to Cincinnati. But
Yeah.
whatever.
I kind of wonder what his numbers would be at Safeco as opposed to the Kingdom. Anyways, well, left-handed power
ask-
hitters have always done good in Safeco, as opposed to
That's true.
right-handed power hitters. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask for more hints. Okay.
Okay.
Is there anyone else from the '90s?
There's one more guy from the 90s. And there's one more guy from the 2010 era, 2010s.
Is Richie Sexton in the top 5?
Is this a guess or is this like a...
Well, now it's not a guess because you made it look like it's not in the top 5. So no, it's not a guess. How about that?
Okay, fine. 17.5, by the way. Number 7 on the list.
Okay, so I was close.
Yeah.
Wait, 2010 era. Who hit? Oh, Nelson Cruz.
Yeah, number two,
Yeah,
13.8.
yeah. Wait, there's somebody above that.
Yeah. This
What year?
person this
What
person
era is the
played
person above him?
this person played in the 80s and he was with the Mariners for 5 seasons. 6 seasons.
Wow.
6 seasons. His sixth season with the Mariners, he was on two teams. He got traded.
Is Ken Phelps number one?
I guess Ken Phelps is number one, dude.
So the only reason I know that you gave me the little clue of the seasons in the 80s, but I have a paper next to me from like a podcast 6 weeks ago that I just is here.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the home runs per AB, but do you remember when I did like a WRC plus history
Yeah.
one time?
Yeah.
And Ken Phelps had these like sick numbers in the 80s. Like was running out a WRC plus of 170 one year.
I mean,
I need
13.
to write. Do you think is Ken Phelps alive? Like I need to write something about Ken Phelps because I have as a child, he mattered in my life as a baseball player, but then it became such a punching bag because of the Seinfeld episode and him getting traded for Jay Buhner. And Jay Buhner was so iconic in Seattle.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, Freudian slip. Yeah, that is a
No, I already guessed Cal Raleigh.
yeah, no,
I
no,
already
no.
guessed Cal Raleigh.
No, I'm saying that like he didn't hit
Oh,
Phelps. Like I'm just gonna read his numbers. 1984, 24 home runs, 1986,
yeah,
24, 1987, 27, 1988, 24. Um,
yeah.
but
But just so many less at bats.
yeah,
He must have been platooning as kind of a. I think he was lefty,
yeah.
like a DH. Anyway, Ken Phelps, man. Okay, it's not Edgar. He didn't hit enough home runs. I don't know if I would say Buhner.
Yeah.
Is
I'll
Jay
give it
Buhner?
to you. Jay Buhner's number five.
Okay, so I was gonna go Flowers because he had sort of like a short career with lots of homers.
Yeah.
And then if I didn't get that, I was gonna go Buhner. So
Yeah, so Buhner 5, A-Rod 6, Sexton 7, Zunino 8, Haniger
oh
9,
yeah,
and Tino number 10.
how's Haniger gonna be like historically in our minds? Will he be like a Michael Saunders, or is he gonna be
No,
more
no,
like
no.
a?
I
Is he
think because
closer to the?
playoff heroics get you up.
Did
Playoff
he have
heroic.
playoff
Yeah,
heroics?
he had the clutch hits in the playoff run in 2022.
I don't think that's true.
Haniger he had a
He
critical
had
hit.
that iconic hit in the year they didn't make the playoffs that went viral.
Oh, maybe I'm getting them mixed up.
I think. Anyway, I'm curious how we're gonna remember Mitch
Yeah.
Haniger.
We're gonna
But
be on like podcasts like 200, which is
yeah,
a couple years from
no,
now.
that's not that
Yeah,
far
when
away.
he retires.
Is it? Oh yeah, you're right. He
Yeah.
hit 246 in 2022, hit 11 homers. The year before, 2021, he had 39 homers and 100 RBIs. And then he was just hurt.
Yeah.
2020 before he went to the Giants, like he actually fell off in that year. Ah, man, Haniger. What a bummer.
It always
Oh,
comes
did you know
back.
he
There's always
I know.
these themes
He
of these
didn't
episodes where we name a random man and we're like, damn.
Kev, did you know he didn't play in 2020?
No, I didn't know that.
He opted out in the COVID year,
Yeah,
it says.
I didn't know that.
I didn't remember that at all.
I mean, no blame
Interesting.
to go around because what did we remember during, the Huskies played 3 football games that year?
I
You know,
actually do remember the
they
Huskies.
they
Yeah.
made it to the Pac-12 championship and didn't play.
Yeah, that was stupid. Here's what I, the only I with here's what's so weird. I'll try to be. I was so desperate for sports coming out of COVID. I was betting on like Italian soccer on the TV in my. I had set up a TV outside in that summer, and then baseball came back. I must have watched, but I did not care about the Mariners were really bad and rebuilding too.
Yeah.
But like you'd think in a 60-game season, I would have been more invested because making the playoffs in the 60-game season to be higher. They had Glovers that year.
Yeah.
Evan White, Gold Glove.
What?
So
Almost
weird.
as awesome as Dylan Moore's platinum glove.
Dylan Moore is a terrible baseball player right now. Not to end on a bad note, but he
Yeah,
really
you
is.
predicted
Okay.
it. Yep. So this was a
Yeah.
great
Well,
this was a great
no, go
podcast.
ahead. Oh, great. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, yeah.
I can find 5 people that agree with you so I
Yeah.
can get my Dom Canzone autographed baseball.
Yeah.
You're going to send me the Dom Canzone. I'm going to send you my son. It's going to be a
Fair
great,
trade.
it'll be a great trade. Yeah.
Uh all right.
All right.
See you all
See you
next
next
week for
week.
episode 56. Thanks for listening.